Once in a while, you get a record from an artist that just makes you question everything that you heard before it. That, for me, is Killer Mike's Michael. I'll give you my impressions right here today on InCrowd Network. What's up, guys, and welcome back to InCrowd Network. I am Aaron, and I wanted to just give my impressions of the Michael album from Killer Mike. Now, the reason why I'm deciding to give my impressions on this album is because this is a really in-depth album that I feel that it would be an injustice almost if I decided to give a review score to an album that I'm still digesting. And that's one of the biggest problems with today's music is that we're in such a microwave age. You could probably listen to most albums over the course of a day and know exactly where it stands because there's no real depth. However, that is not the case with this Michael album from Killer Mike. There is so much depth on this album. There is so much going on each individual track that every time you listen, you get something new from the album, whether it be lyrically or from the featured guest artist or from the production. There's just so many different elements here that give you so much more depth to the album. It's hard to listen to something like this over the course of, I don't know, a couple of days to a week and say, this is exactly how I feel about this album, at least not when it is this in depth. So with that being said, this is the sixth studio album from Killer Mike. It's titled Michael. It was produced by No ID, and you can clearly tell that there is a lot of work, a lot of effort, a lot of time, and a lot of dedication that went into this album. Killer Mike himself has been quoted as saying, when this album was in production and we got to a point where we just didn't know what else to do with it, we spent an additional $250,000 that he had to take of his own money to go further with it. And that's where he brought in No ID to add the even deeper layers to this album that we got. He said there were sections of the album where we felt like, wow, this belongs here. This bass belongs right here. No ID came in, pulled it right out, told him this is what we're going with, and it worked seamlessly. So it's quite obvious that the money that was spent on the album was worth every penny to him. Personally, I've never been a fan of Killer Mike. I was such a big fan of the album that I had to go listen to some of his past work. So this sixth album has a lot of features on it. We've got Mozzie. We've got Young Thug. As I mentioned, it was guest produced, or produced, I should say, by No ID. We've got CeeLo Green. He really pulled out the stops. Jagged Edge, all kinds of artists that I haven't heard from in a long time, like Andre 3000. And this is the first time that I can actually say that I heard how can I put this? I've heard a verse laid down by Andre 3000, and he was not able to outdo the person that he was on the track with. Because Killer Mike, in my opinion, he does better than Andre 3000 on this. Even from the opening track with CeeLo Green, the minute he starts rapping, the way he comes in, the amount of fierce nature that he blasts out with, it's obvious that he was going to take zero shits with this album. He was not going to allow anyone who was going to be featured with him to outdo him on his record, and it's clearly shining through. Personally, from what I've heard this far, I'm going to say that this might be in my top 3 albums for the year, but I have to keep listening. I have to give it a little bit more time so that I can digest it and really understand exactly how I feel about this album. So again, I didn't want to go ahead and just throw a raw review on this because I'm still digesting it, still enjoying it, but I do implore you to take your time, listen to this album, and let me know what you think. And again, I would like to know, what do you guys think? Do you think I should take my time, digest an album, then review it? It might make it 2 to 3 weeks late from when it releases to the time that it's reviewed, but I can give you my full thoughts rather than my impressions on the album. Or do you prefer just impressions to give you an idea of something that you think might work for you so that you yourself can go pull it up, listen to it, if it's worth your time. Let us know. Go ahead, sound off in the comments. Let us know how you feel about this album, I should say. Let me know if you like it, dislike it, whatever the case may be. I'm still enjoying it. From everything I've heard, I like it so far. And I'm telling you, if I was to throw a score on this, it would probably be in the 8 and up range. That's how good of an album it is. I am Aaron. This is InCrowd Network. This was my impressions of Killer Mike's Michael album. And go ahead, hit the subscribe, hit the like button, come back for more. We are ramping up things here on InCrowd Network, and that will continue. We appreciate you. We appreciate the fan base, and we appreciate all of the support. Again, have a good one. Peace.